my name's Tamara Al-Hashimi. I'm a technical director here in Perth in RPS's offices here, and I have been working for RPS for probably, I'd say, maybe 15 years altogether. I've worked between both the UK and Australia's offices. So my passion for marine science definitely started when I was much younger, so probably 10 or 11. And even though I lived in the UK and I was nowhere near the coast, so I didn't really actually have access to the ocean that often, or the sea, actually, the North Sea. I was just obsessed with watching, videos and documentaries about marine science, and obviously Jacques Cousteau when you're a little kid is very exciting. And I was determined to be a marine biologist, and so when it came to choosing some of my courses at school, I was absolutely adamant that I had to choose courses that would help me get into university and to be able to study marine biology. I have to say my favourite and my most exciting projects are really in the offshore wind space, especially this new industry that we have here with projects like Star of the South, which I've worked on since 2017. And to see that hopefully get approval in the not too distant future will be just an absolute just a real kind of feather in the cap, but just a really great thing to happen. The people or the groups of organisations that are pushing those boundaries. I'd say in Australia, definitely the developers that have come in that have, some of them have taken early risks. Some of them are coming in now. Some of them are still sort of deciding. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of commitment to sort of start and build these projects. And now that we have a regulator that is driving that process, then I think that is going to become much more streamlined and a much more easier process for people. There's a real big and a very important difference between the UK and Australia in terms of offshore wind. Australia have got very, very different species than they have in the UK. So we've got, blue whales, humpback whales, southern right whales, a whole range of, different species. So even though there's a lot we can learn from the UK industry, there's a lot that's going to be very, very different here. And so we need to be very mindful of that with our industry developing here about how we, design our data collection programs, how we do our impact assessment, how we understand the effects, or how we try to understand the effects on the species that we have here in Australia. There are collaborations over in the UK and Europe that are looking at some of these key questions that we just don't know the answers to. And they are around some of our environmental sensitivities, such as marine mammals and seabirds, which are probably two of the bigger ones when we think about ecological consent risks for an offshore wind farm. And that's what I think needs to happen over in Australia. I think really it's the people that are looking and wanting to do that level of research, because that's what we need in order to get these wind farms built and constructed and the industry off the ground here.